So, welcome into our 11th mini lesson in our sneak peek of the Priestess Path curriculum series. Today's lesson is all about guides and allies. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about guides and allies. I'm going to talk about how they might show up for you. And then we'll do a very brief meditation to just drop in and see who shows up for us today. So, this lesson comes right at the end of the Priestess Path. The only lesson after this is the initiation, and that is a lesson and a ritual in really honoring the experience of moving through all of the Priestess Path, all the entire year, and all 11 classes and rituals to that point. So, this comes right at the end of our tools. And guides and allies, I feel, are really important because they show up for us in a myriad of ways throughout our life. And we have some guides who might seem like steady guides, and you might even think off the top of your head, who are your guides? Who are the energies, the beings that you feel have sort of pointed you in the right direction or reach out and grab your hand when you feel like you need it? And maybe you have somebody or something that has shown up to take on that role again and again and again. We do have some constant guides in our lives, but we also have transitory guides. Guides come and go, allies come and go. We change, and so they change too. So, who are these guides and allies? Who might they be, and how might they appear to us? This can be people, they can be people that you know or don't know, they can be living or dead. They could be like some figure that a historical figure that maybe you're thinking, oh, I could really use some of that energy from Abraham Lincoln, whoever it might be. You can actually tap into the energies of different beings and people who have lived in history and call in some of that for yourself to guide you. But sometimes they're people or energies who just show up for us too. So again, it could be people, it could be plants. Maybe there's a plant that you keep seeing again and again and again, or that you have a special relationship with that really tends to help you feel grounded in yourself and also directive in like, guide me, where am I going? Perhaps it's an animal. Maybe it's an animal who you have an ongoing relationship with, like an actual physical animal in your life. But maybe it's also an animal that you see out in the world, or images of that animal have come to you. Maybe it's a mythical animal or a mythical creature. Maybe it's a spirit or an angel. Guides can come in so many different forms and in so many different ways to us. So I think it's really helpful and important to think about guides and allies as being very broad, but isn't just one specific thing. It's not just, oh, my spirit guide who shows up in this form and that's it. We have support and guidance in many different ways at many different times. At any given time, really, I would say there are energies there to help support you and guide you. So some of these are just going to show up for you. How are you going to know they're there? They're just going to show up. You might start seeing synchronicities. Oh my gosh, every time I go outside, I'm seeing this hummingbird. It's showing up again and again and again. Um, no matter where I am. Maybe it's some other animal. I've had an ongoing relationship with deer or snakes that have appeared over and over and over again for a time period and then left. But there is guidance in those synchronicities. And our brains automatically want to make patterns. So we are going to be picking up on those patterns probably a lot easier than you might imagine. And the more we pick up on those patterns, the more we start to see who's showing up for us now. How are they showing up? And in what way are they pointing us? Maybe it's just a feeling they give you. Maybe it's a literal, like pointing you in a certain direction. But to pay attention to those synchronicities because those are ways that our guides and allies help us. Another way you can connect with your guides and allies is by calling them in. So I mentioned maybe you want to reach back through history and grab onto a historical figure and use the energy of that historical figure to help you in some way. I took a magical writing class at one point, and at the beginning of the writing class, we all called in authors, living and dead, to support our writing practice. So, in that way, we were calling in our allies and our guides to help us in our practice just by calling on their energy. So you can reach out and probably most of us, I'm gonna just wager a bet here that probably most of us who have lost someone in time, somebody dear to us, have said a little prayer to them at some point. For me, I have fear of flying. I call on my dad because he was a pilot, and he's no longer here in this realm. But when I'm on a plane, I do my little prayer thing with all the elements, and then I'm like, Dad, I need you right now. And in that way, he is my ally. He is my guide. He's holding that space for me. And I'm reaching out and calling him in. But like I said, this doesn't have to be somebody you know. Maybe it's the energy of a certain animal that you're wanting to call in to help you. We can call in anything that we need at any given moment. We have to trust it and we have to be willing to ask for help. But those energies are there for us to connect with and work with. So this is just a really quick overview of what guides and allies are, who they might be, how you might connect with them, how you might connect with them intentionally, or maybe they're showing up for you and being like, hey, hey, look at me over here, right? So I want to help you today to maybe make a little connection for yourself. So we're just going to do a brief meditation and we're going to just tap in and see who shows up. So I'm going to invite you to get comfortable if you're not already and make sure that you're feeling supported. You don't have to see me, you just have to be able to hear me. So if you want to lie down or get into a different chair that you prefer, but you can still hear me, go for it. And once you find that space where your body is feeling comfortable, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. If you're not in a position to close your eyes or that doesn't feel good to you, you can just soften your gaze and focus on one point. And let's begin by just finding our breath here in this moment today. You might even intentionally take a big breath in and sigh it out. Allowing your breath to just move as it wants to in and out of your body in its natural rhythm. Letting that rhythm soothe you, comfort you, relax you. Each exhale, releasing your muscles, releasing the energy in your body to let you settle down a little bit deeper into your skin, a little bit deeper into your seat. You might begin to notice that your limbs are growing heavier. But as your muscles let go and relax, you sink down deeper and deeper into that which is supporting you and holding you. And as your body relaxes, your imaginal realm begins to open. You might even bring your inner gaze to that third eye space in the center of your forehead, feeling a slight tingle, a slight opening there. Breathing in and breathing out. And here on this screen of your mind's eye, I'd like you to see yourself standing on a path in a forest, surrounded by trees. And as you stand here on this path in this forest, with these trees all around you, Begin to take in this space with your senses. Perhaps you can take in the sounds of the forest, the creatures, the leaves. Perhaps you take in the scent. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin, the quality of the light. And as you look around this path, as you look around these trees, take in the colors, the textures, letting the space solidify before you. And then we're going to begin to walk down this path, one foot in front of the other, step by step, feeling the earth beneath your feet, feeling the air on your skin as you move through this space, this time, this place. One foot in front of the other. And as you walk, the foliage around you begins to become more dense. As you walk, the trail begins to disappear. One foot in front of the other. You can still make it out here even as the trees and brush come closer. Until you step through what seems like a thick wall of brush, and you find yourself in a clearing. And in this clearing, you feel that you are not alone. Take a look around this space, surrounded by trees but open to the sky. Take a look around this space and notice who might be there. Perhaps you don't see anyone at first, or perhaps someone or something steps forward immediately. Here in this clearing, in this forest, you can make your intention known. I am open. I am open to meet my guide or my ally. Who is here for me right now? Who is here for me in this day? I'm going to go quiet here for a moment and just let you drop in and be with whoever shows up. And remember that guides and allies don't always show up in form. Sometimes they appear as a knowing or a wisdom inside of us. Stay open. If you have any questions for your guide or your ally, you can ask them. And when you've received your message or just your contact, whatever it is that you needed from this being, you can say thank you and note that they are here, that you are with them and they are with you, that you can reach out to them across time and space at any given moment. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. So once you thank them, you can turn back toward that thick brush. You can step through it and back on to that path. And as you begin your journey back to where you began, one foot in front of the other, step by step, you might notice if you feel any different than you did as you started on this path. Step by step, one foot in front of the other, the foliage and brush opening up, step by step by step, until you find yourself standing back where you began, surrounded by trees, feet on the earth. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, you can wiggle your fingers and your toes here in ordinary reality. Take another big breath in. And as you exhale, you can let your eyes come open and come back to this space, and back to yourself. You might look around your room and orient. Knowing that you can come back anytime to meet with this guide. They are there for you, and that you can take whatever you have learned in this brief encounter into your day and beyond. I hope that you've enjoyed meeting your guide, your ally, and I thank you for being here. If you haven't already signed up for the Priestess Path, we begin in just a week and a half, and I hope to see you there. Be well.